Yo, what's going on, guys? Two-man duo here, and it's actually Perks bringing you guys back with another story time. The last story time I dropped did a really good, and I got a lot of feedback telling me, "Oh, you should make another one." So that's exactly what I'm gonna do today. So I have a really interesting story time about the time where I witnessed someone getting knocked out at an airport. So I hope y'all enjoy the video. Please leave a like, subscribe, and let's get into it. So the story time took place like 2 years ago. I was on a trip to Morocco because that's where I'm from, and we were staying there for like 1 month. So we left like July 26th, and we were coming back. We were supposed to come back August 30th, but we had issues with like the passport and ticket and shit. So it got delayed till September 5th. So the day of the flight, I was really sick and I was in a bad mood, and I had to leave my grandparents' house because they live in Morocco. We were staying there for like the last 2 weeks. We were in Morocco because we were like traveling to different cities there and shit. So I was very sick and in a bad mood because I had to leave the house at 12 a.m. midnight. So, we're packing bags, we're getting ready, and we hop in the car, which is like a really huge van, so it can fit all of our luggages. So, the drive from my grandparents' house to the airport was about 2-3 hours and a half. So I was just in a bad mood because I was sick and I was leaving a country that I love to be in. So, we get to the airport and we get through everything, baggage and all that. So we do all that, and by the time we get everything done, it's like 3 a.m. and I don't think we boarded until like 4:30, 5 a.m. around that time. So I was just chilling, and there was a baby that I didn't really think much of it because a lot of people bring babies on flights, so I don't really think there was gonna be an issue. I don't. They can, babies they can cry here and there on the flight, but it's really not an issue. So I'm just chilling, just doing my own thing, and I realized like the baby starts getting irritated, and I didn't think much of it. The baby's probably gonna stop crying in like 10 minutes. So the baby eventually stops crying, and eventually the announcements came on saying they were ready to board our flight. So we gave them our tickets and we started loading the airplane. So we get on the airplane, we find our seats. So I had to sit in the middle. Sucks because our airplane was split into 3 different rows. There was the left row, middle row, and the right row. So I was sitting in the middle row in the middle seat, which really sucked. But anyways, the baby that was crying, I actually was like really close to it was like on the left of me. I was like, what's it called? We boarded the flight. We boarded the plane at like 4:30. So I was gonna expect, the baby will probably sleep through the entire flight because everyone's pretty much exhausted and tired. We take off and all that, and an hour into the flight, the baby starts getting irritated again. I don't know what was going on. It just started like making like grunting noises, and I was just praying to God it wouldn't cry again because I was next to it, like really close to it this time. And I was sick and I was tired and I just wasn't in a good mood. So if you couldn't guess, the baby starts crying and I'm just there like, fuck. And when the baby started crying, it was crying for so fucking long. You don't understand. People were starting to close their ears. They were starting to put like the pillows that the airplane provided over their heads. They were getting pretty annoyed because this baby has been crying for so long and everyone's tired and they just want to sleep. So the baby keeps crying for like I'm just gonna say now, it wasn't even a baby, it was a fucking toddler. It looked like he was like 3-4 years old. So eventually one guy just gets really fed up and he stands up because he's sitting right behind the crying baby and the parents were sitting like between him. So the guy stands up and he yells at the parents in Arabic dialect, and he is like, oh, You guys don't know how to raise your kids. Tell him to stop crying. Everybody on the flight is tired of him and no one can stand it anymore. The dad was like, oh, don't worry. Like, we're trying to get him to calm down. He doesn't want to stop crying. We're trying to figure out what's going on. And the guy was like, I don't care. Everyone here is tired of him. He needs to learn how to shut up and shit like that. And the dad was just trying to, like, you know, de-escalate it. He's like, oh, we're trying to get him to calm down. He doesn't want to calm down. And eventually, like, the guy, like, tells the baby, he like literally looks at the fucking toddler and he was like, he basically tells it to like shut up. And then the dad was like, oh, he's just a baby, he's not gonna understand what you're trying to say. And then the guy, he grabs like the baby by like his shirt. He didn't like do it really aggressive, but he grabbed the baby by his shirt and he was like telling him to like be quiet. And that's when the dad had enough. So what happened was he was like balling up his fist because he was getting really tired of this guy yelling in his face. So he balls up a fist, cocks it back, and hits him with the meanest right hook to the face. And this guy falls back to his seat, gets back up, and they start swinging on each other. Punches being thrown left and right. The mom is just freaking out. Everyone's just watching. And I was just in the middle of a movie while all this was happening. And I turn around and I just see all this going on and we're all looking. And that's when the flight agents or flight security came and broke it up. And they were asking what was going on. And the old guy, he was like, oh, his baby has been crying for 3 fucking hours. He doesn't want to shut up. Everyone here's tired of him. And the flight agents are just trying to de-escalate it. They're trying to be like, okay, calm down. We're trying to figure this out. We're trying to see what's going on. So they take the old guy and they move him to the back of the airplane. And that's when things started getting calm. So the child's mother, she was like crying because, you know, they started fighting and she didn't want any of that to happen. So the people that were sitting next to her were like comforting her. They were like, oh, you guys aren't in the wrong. That guy's a psychopath. He's trying to yell at a kid and grab him. And meanwhile this is happening, the agents are talking to the dad of the child that was crying and they're just telling him, oh, like, are you okay? Is everything okay? Like, why is your son crying? And they're just trying to figure out what's going on. And while they were swinging on each other, they just caused the kid to cry even more, which really was bad. And it was just a horrible experience for me because I was like really sick and I wasn't in the mood. And not gonna lie, seeing hands getting thrown was kind of like a mood lifter, because not saying that I wanted to see anyone get hurt, it was just like, you know, I was really bored. I didn't want I wanted something entertaining to happen. So we land and all that, and my family do whatever we needed to do. We grabbed our luggages, went through checking and all that. And while we were like trying to find our luggages, I see the guy that got his ass whooped by the crying child's dad. He looked really like sad for some reason, but he low-key deserved it, because you are not to put your hands on a child that isn't even yours. So I just looked at him, he didn't look at me, and we basically just carried on with our day. You know, we came back, we landed in New York and went back to my house, and basically everything was normal after that. So that is unfortunately the end of the story time. If y'all did enjoy it, please leave a like, subscribe, let me know if you guys like the story time, and please leave any similar experiences you had in the comments down below. I'll see you on that next video. Peace.